Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. Major lenders are cutting rates again. Why is this happening? Because it's only been a week or two since they started putting rates back up. So we're going to talk about what is going on in the market. What could you do if you've got a mortgage rate that comes up for renewal in the next few months? And who are the sneaky little lenders that are dropping their rates? We're going to talk about all of that and more. While you're here, if you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're so close to 24,000 subscribers now. It was 23 the other day, but we've had a lot of subscribers since. So do subscribe and hit the bell. And while you're here, smash like, tickle like, do something to the like button, guys. That really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. It gets us more views on the channel, in short. So be a good person and smash that like right now. So what's going on? Well, we had some pretty good indications from the Bank of England that they're now considering cutting rates. And it's not ruled out that it might happen in June. Now, the wage data came out this week, and that was a little higher than expected, meaning people had got bigger pay rises than they'd hoped. Well, those people wanted good pay rises, but than the government had hoped. You see, if people get really big pay rises, what generally happens is then they'll go out and spend more, and that will add to this inflation stuff, and we'll just go round in circles. So in the bank scenario, they want fairly flat wages for a while inflation is tamed. As people that earn money, we want our wages to increase because we've been hit so hard by inflation recently. So that's something that they're going to be keeping an eye on. But the Bank of England was a lot more positive in the last meeting. And normally they're not talking about rate cuts. They don't like to talk about that stuff. The Americans, they love to talk about it. They were saying 6 rate cuts at one stage. And that's kind of backfired, doesn't it? Because that hasn't happened. The Bank of England likes to keep their mouth shut. They don't like to predict stuff so much. And so it was interesting that this time they said, hey, you know what? What you markets are like indicating might happen, we might actually cut considerably more than that. That's what came out of their own mouth, which was interesting. And so off the back of that, banks themselves, the lenders, the mortgage rate, not the interest rate, the mortgage rate that you get, banks have had their lending cheaper. So they borrow on something called a swap rate from a bigger bank, and they've marginally gone down. But what's also happened is something that we've talked about on this channel in the last week or so. There's now a slowing down of the market, and there's a couple of reasons for that which I want to quickly discuss. One is it was leaked that the Tories may increase the threshold for stamp duty, meaning that if you're to buy a property, a residential property, stamp duty kicks in at 250 grand, it might go up to 300 grand. Now, if you read that story and you're just about to buy a property at 250 or 255, say, for example, you're going to wait, aren't you? There's no way you're going to carry on that transaction. You're going to wait and see whether that stamp duty stuff comes in. That's going to slow the market down considerably. That means solicitors won't be doing great. Lenders won't be doing great. Estate agents won't be doing great. Builders and all these big trades won't be doing great. It's going to slow the market down. So that's one reason. And the other is the expectation that interest rates are going to drop. And so because of that, banks, the transaction volume has slowed down again. We had a very busy start to the year. January and February were good, really good. And that's why rates went up, because the banks had so much business, they could afford to be more expensive and be more selective on who they got as a customer. Now it's slowed down again. That means they're starting to have to drop their rates marginally. These aren't big drops, if I'm honest. They're about 0.14%, they're just under 0.25%. But it does show that they are looking to get our business again. So who's dropped rates this week? That's what you want to know, right? So first is Barclays. Now, some of these rates, every time this happens, some of you will say, well, I've looked at Barclays and it's not showing for me. So some of these rates will be exclusive to brokers. So you might need to go for a broker. And I'd always suggest that you go for a broker. I've got a very difficult deal at the moment that I've been using a broker. Lenders have been so difficult because of certain things in the lease on the property. And the broker has helped me overcome stuff that I wouldn't have been able to do myself. He can actually pick up the phone, have a conversation with someone senior in that lender and actually get me over the line, which is important. So I always suggest you use a broker, and they can get better rates than you can find sometimes. So Barclays is one place. TSB, we've covered them this week. They've cut their rates, which is really good news as well. And another big lender, HSBC. So what's likely to happen is other lenders will follow suit. And so you'll see as the weeks go on, if, for example, NatWest suddenly see a drop in inquiries because HSBC is now cheaper, NatWest will look to match that or beat that. And that's the little battle that these guys have between themselves in order to be higher up on the search rankings. If you go on Money Supermarket or your broker brings you deals, you always look for the cheapest deal. Now, what can you do in this time of uncertainty? If you're looking to do a deal right now, or you're looking to move mortgage provider at the moment, I suggest that you go out there, you get an agreement in principle, you get your deal sorted, and then while it's going through, if you're buying while it's going through, if a better rate comes out, you can swap. You can swap with that lender onto that better rate. Sometimes there's a small admin fee, right? Not always. Or I had that on a deal earlier this year, right? The lender actually told me, they said, look, the rate's improved, which I didn't think they normally would do, but you are able to do it normally if you go to them. But this lender said, look, we've improved our rates. Here's a better offer, which was brilliant. So what you can do is sometimes you can pay a small fee to swap on. Now, let's just say you've got an existing mortgage and it doesn't expire for 6 months. You can also do this, right? You can fix that deal today. And if rates plummet in the next few months, then you go to that lender and you say, look, before the new deal starts, I want to switch onto that better deal. That's what I'm suggesting to a lot of people, and lots of you have taken me up on that advice. But this is a good end to the week. 3 big lenders have dropped their rates. I think next week you're going to see a little more than that. I think actually Nationwide as well also dropped their rates. And I think next week you will see more big lenders like Halifax and other lenders like that that will also drop, because they don't always do it at the same time. And that's smart, because these guys have all done it together. So they're bunched in one news article. Think of it as a marketing strategy. Now, if you're NatWest, you would just announce it separately, so then you get all of the press coverage to yourself. That's what a smarter marketing side would do. If they've got a decent marketing department, they won't want to be bunched in with all of these guys. So they'll wait, then they'll announce on their own and get all of that headline to themselves. What do you think? Do you think rates are going to change while we're waiting for the Bank of England to drop rates? Do comment below. Any lenders that I've missed? Maybe you know a lender that is dropping rates quickly and we can all benefit from that. Do say that below as well. Do smash a like, do subscribe, do check out some more content on my channel, including this video right here.